The US government has just moved 8,999 Bitcoin. Mica, more regulations coming out there as well. Bitcoin, it hasn't rallied on the latest news with the CPI. We're going to get into that as well. A little bit of housekeeping first. We are at block height 798,437. 6 a.m. on the dot, local time, and now you can see crypto market cap 1.23 trillion. Perfect number, up 0.2%. A little bit of green over the chart there, especially in the top 50, top 100. Going over to Bitcoin here. Failed to break 31,000 on the CPI news. We'll look at that wick in a second. Current price 30,524. In the last 24 hours, a high of 30,904, a low of 30,428. You can see it wicked up here, $30,904 before coming straight back down. Here, a couple of reasons for it. A large part of that will be with the news. Government is putting all the sell pressure. One thing with these SILKROAD coins, they confiscated 50,000, close to 10,000 have been sold already. They're going to continue to keep selling them. We know the sell pressure is coming. It's nice to be warned, but every time this happens, the markets are going to react negatively, even though we're clearly aware this is happening. Ethereum, it's up a little bit more than Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. Siri is listening again at $1,887.94. You can see a high here just under 1,900, 1898.56 with a low in the last 24 hours of 1868. Really small price movements, which is good to see. Looking forward for that breakout again above 1,900 and then trying to get towards the 2,000. Market overall, a little bit of red, a little bit of green. No real big winners. PulseX, no Pulse Richard Hart fans are coming out in the comments. So let us know what your thoughts are in regards to that. In regards to the $300 million worth of Bitcoin, which are on the move by the US government. In March, they sold 9,861 Bitcoin for 216 million. Now they've just moved 8,999. You can see that ID. There are 2 wallets tagged as belonging to the US government and linked to the Silk Road seizure of crypto have moved over 300 million worth of Bitcoin. And I want to make a couple of comments on this in a sec. In 3 separate transactions on Wednesday morning, on-chain data shows the price of Bitcoin, it fell by nearly 1%, 0.8%. The US government previously sold 9,861 Bitcoin for 216 mil in March. The sale came after the government seized 50,000 Bitcoin linked to the Silk Road marketplace in November. There, don't you think that they'd hold on to a little bit just in case? It cost them absolutely nothing. You wonder why they're forced to sell it. Maybe there's a legal reason for it. I'm not sure. I am very curious though, why they wouldn't just hold, say, the last 30,000. They got it for free. Maybe. If it was me, that's what I'd do. Obviously not financial advice. So even as inflation risk fades, Bitcoin remains stuck below 31K. We have been stuck below 31,000 for quite a while, not been able to break out of it. It's just this accumulation winding up pattern we're seeing here. So eventually it's going to have to break up or it's going to break down. If it breaks down, it could go down fairly fast, fairly quickly, and then I think it'll wick back up and then we'll break it. Now, Wednesday, the government reported a big slowdown in US inflation. Fantastic. Made up numbers. At least they're reducing their made up numbers. So the report showed consumer price increased 3% year over year in June versus the 4% gain in May. Even better, the core rate, which excludes food and energy prices. I guess that's why I say they're made up numbers, because the true inflation, everyone knows, food, like energy prices here, up 20% the last bill we had. So that's inflation. Anyway, slowed to 4.8%, increased after stubbornly holding above 5% earlier in 23. So one of the reporters, Tim Royce, he does not expect the Fed to be swayed from its path of additional rate hikes in 2023 by just this morning's data. It's talking about why the Bitcoin price is suppressed. Good morning, Ali. Bitcoin from SILKROAD. Second, there was more news today than just the CPI print. On-chain data this morning showed 2 wallets labeled as belonging to the US government. Moved 301 million, 3 transaction. That sort of selling pressure may have more than balanced out any good inflation news, because Bitcoin has not rallied while the rest of the stock market has with all this inflation. They do say markets anticipate, so the price of Bitcoin has risen more than 20% since mid-June, which is fair. Commonly thought to be because of the BlackRock spot ETF. We can definitely pay most of it to that, but perhaps some of the bull action was due to markets sniffing out the improved June inflation report as well. Whatever narrative, the price is at the moment 30,524. Now, getting back to this. Maybe doubtedly frustrating the Bitcoin bulls today is that the traditional markets appear to be fully embraced the weaker inflation report. The dollar index is off more than 1%, which is exactly what one might expect if inflation concerns and subsequent the chances of future Fed rate hikes were receding. While Bitcoin resides in the red on Wednesday, both the Nasdaq and S&P 500 are ahead by about 1%, hitting new all-time highs. The comment there I will get to very shortly once I race through this. Now, probability, it's at 94.9% that we do get an interest rate hike. Nobody is thinking that it won't come this meeting. Do they do one? Do they skip again? Or do they pause after this? That is the question. The markets are definitely pricing that in. It'll happen. We will probably drop more than likely for a little bit before bouncing back up, even though it should be 100% priced in. I don't see it moving much, but I do see it moving when they do raise those interest rates. Bitcoin mining difficulty hits an all-time high as Bitcoin mining selling peaks. It's great that we're at an all-time high for mining difficulty, and I'll tell you why. So the Bitcoin miners sent a record amount of Bitcoin to exchanges right as the network difficulty metric hit an all-time high. Selling pressure is not good, but this may reduce it. So the latest adjustment will add to the pressure on miners who have been selling off their mined Bitcoin since June. Some analysts suspect that the lack of miner accumulation has likely restricted an uptrend in the Bitcoin price. With the latest difficulty adjustment, the profitability of medium and small scale miners will likely drop into negative territory. This is forcing them to temporarily turn off some of their ASIC hardware. Getting a little bit too hard, a little bit too expensive for them to mine, so they need to turn their hardware off. So this potential capitulation of weaker miners could finally enable larger miners to accumulate Bitcoin, which may reduce the mining selling pressure. It sucks for the smaller mining companies as well. Obviously, if you're into miners, it's a leverage play on Bitcoin. The weak won't survive, or they need to go on hold until it's more profitable. And then the big guys have enough resources just to be able to stack, which should allow the price to go up. Couple of really interesting things. Google Play allowing NFTs. We'll jump into that in a moment. Elon Musk has launched XAI, so that's coming up, as well as some European Mica laws. And then I will get to the questions in the chat. So Google Play changes the policy on tokenized digital assets, allowing NFTs and apps and games. Pretty cool, really big move by Google Play, to be honest. The ability for developers to let users buy, sell or own digital assets and apps as long as they maintain transparency and adhere to the rules. Now, companies that decide to offer the ability to buy, sell or own tokenized assets will be required to make it clear in the Play console that there are blockchain-based elements in the app. I think that's pretty awesome. I think even that's a good marketing pitch. We have blockchain-based elements in our app. Check them out. Definitely opens up the discussion a whole lot more and puts into the public consciousness. So Reddit, which has seen enormous success with its avatar NFTs, was one of the partners working with Google on the new policy. The updated guidelines are aimed at creating a level playing field that promotes user trust and responsible usage of blockchain technology. Hopefully there's no bad actors that stuff this up. So while tokenized assets are meant to build more enriched, immersive experiences as an added user protection, developers may not promote or glamorize any potential earnings from playing or trading activities. And you shouldn't go into these thinking or expecting that you're going to make profit. If you do, that's good. Go in there for a bit of fun, play with the technology, still in the early days. We'll see what comes of it. In parallel, Google Cloud announced an initiative in April 23 to help Web3 developers accelerate their startups. Users may see the first test of the new experiences in late summer. They're pretty exciting coming up here. I haven't talked about Mica for quite a while now, probably about 2.5 weeks, long time in crypto. So European regulator releases consultative paper on the Mica standards for crypto asset service providers. This is the regulation over in the EU. It's really good for the crypto industry. If you haven't caught up in it, plenty of news articles I have done in regards to Mica. The European Securities and Markets Authority, which is the ESMA, the European Union's markets regulator, released a consultative paper on Mica mandates on July 12. If you don't know what Mica is, markets and crypto assets, from now on, Mica. First of the 3 consultative packages in regards to concerns technical specifications for crypto asset service providers, which is CASPs. So entities that are already licensed are presumed under these laws or regulations to be generally capable of providing crypto asset services. They will be required to provide additional information in the form of notifications to the National Competent Authority. Paper sought feedback on regulatory technical standards and implementing technical standards for notifications from CASPs. How interesting is it that when projects were just DeFi and just doing their own thing, they weren't responsible to anyone, regulation comes in, there's at least 3 authorities here. We've got the NCAS, we've got the CASPs, the Mica, as well as the ESMA. Just amazing how much bureaucracy with anything, maybe not specifically with this, but when regulation comes in, government entities, anything government-wise, you get all this red tape laid in front of you, makes it more and more difficult. They want to bubble wrap everyone. And maybe some of it's justified with all the nonsense that's gone on within crypto over the last 12, 18 months. Understand they feel like they're doing the good thing. Definitely slows down innovation. But maybe we're at a point where we've gone fast, we've broken stuff, now we need to slow down, put these frameworks in place. Overall, I think they're doing better because at least they're providing guidelines and you can work within their box that they're clearly showing you. So the paper sought feedback, regulatory technical standards, implementing technical standards for notifications from CASPs. So well done to the EU with Mica, continually progressing it. Elon Musk, the GOAT, kickstarts new AI company to understand the universe. When you've got all the money in the world, the richest man in the world, it's pretty amazing where their mind goes and what they want to get up to. So the goal of XAI is to understand the true nature of the universe. Incredible. XAI will work closely with Twitter, Tesla, and other companies owned by Musk to make progress towards our mission. The firm said it is actively recruiting experienced engineers and researchers in the San Francisco Bay Area to join its technical staff. If you are looking for a job in AI and you've got the qualifications, reach out to Tesla, reach out to Elon Musk. I don't know if I'd want to work for him. I think he'd be pretty full on, pretty intense, be definitely an interesting conversation. But maybe you've got that opportunity right there. The company also lists Dan Hendricks, director of the Center for AI Safety, as its advisors. Developers wrote, "We have previously worked at," and check out this list, DeepMind, OpenAI, Google Research, Microsoft Research, Tesla, and the University of Toronto. Collectively, we contributed some of the most widely used methods in the field, in particular, the atom optimizer, batch normalization, layer normalization, the discovery of adversarial examples. The XAI team also worked on past breakthroughs such as AlphaStar, AlphaCode, Inception, Minerva, GPT 3.5, GPT-4, and upcoming Twitter Space Chat for the venture is scheduled July 14. That's going to be absolutely fascinating. Being here in Australia, I'm sure it won't be at the most optimized time for me. They better record it. That's going to be a Twitter space of history, I believe. It is going to be absolutely insane. On July 6, Musk called for more regulatory oversight of AI, claiming the technology may be smarter than all humans at everything in the future. He has been giving these warnings for a long time. He's not stopping. He has been very consistent. very interesting to know what's going to happen with AI, say, in the next 5-10 years. And that video I showed you yesterday with the AI writing with the 3D printer, that was insane. So he also said that AI-powered devices such as autonomous cars and robots will bring very profound changes to the world. Good or bad, right or wrong, we're there to find out. European Bank Authority calls for early adoption of stablecoin standards. This is pretty cool. I got pretty excited when I read this. So EBA officials anticipate a surge in stablecoin issuance in the coming months and have urged businesses to use its guiding principles before restrictions are implemented. In advance to the required regulations expected in the coming year, the banking watchdog for the EU asked stablecoin issuers to voluntarily follow certain guiding principles on risk management and consumer protection. However, now that the framework law has been adopted, EBA officials anticipate a surge in stablecoin issuance over the coming months and have urged businesses to use its guiding principles on good governance and risk management before the restrictions are implemented. The ESMA regulations, they won't have a compensation plan for customers who lose money on investments in unbacked crypto assets when they go into effect in January 2025. In October, the EBA will release the second set of draft guidelines that address the capital needs of stablecoin issuers and how businesses should handle stablecoin redemptions in volatile markets. Really good to see they are putting out guidelines for people. They're not saying you can't do it until we bring out proper regulation. That's a great way to be able to approach the industry. So whole lot of stablecoins coming into the market, competing with USDT. Be good to see. If you haven't already, check out this video, Natalie Brunell. There's been some amazing podcasts on lately. There's a whole lot more amazing ones coming up as well. And Ali is saying, I was wondering why we are dumping today. I'll bring the Bitcoin chart back up and see. 30,268. It's really a bit of a nothing burger. Obviously, the news with the Silk Road, the government, they're moving 8,999 coins onto the market. It's definitely going to put sell pressure on the market there. People get a little bit spooked, but really down, less than 1%. Even if we're up or down 5%, that's just another sideways day really in crypto. No rally with CPI news, only dumpos. We keep getting screwed by the US. Lol. It's been pretty interesting. Every time positive news comes out, there is negative to counteract it. The thing that I take away from this here, it's saying we're down 1.2% the last 24 hours. Like literally 5% either way, up or down. It's really a nothing burger. Where we are in the cycle, when I start getting really worried is when it's like 7.5%, 10% in a day or a couple of days, and it really looks like we're breaking below. Even if we were to drop down to like 25,400, 25,600, I wouldn't be worried. It's when we start going a lot lower than that and stay down there. Where we are in the time cycle, we are in that accumulation. We're moving back up and to the right over time. So between now and the Bitcoin halving, I see us, definitely not financial advice, see us being there around somewhere between 38 and 42, maybe as high as 45. And we're at 30,000, 31,000. We're sort of playing between this gap at the moment. So if it takes us that long to get up to 38,000 and it's just sideways and choppy for the rest of the year, it's all good. We are just having these opportunities now to be able to stack whatever we're into. For me, mainly Bitcoin, 95%, but there will be some good plays. And here, the next 2 months will be good. July, August, September's usually pretty bad, and maybe that's a good time to buy some of those shit coins if you're so inclined. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video. Definitely check out that interview that I got to do with Natalie Brunell. Be blessed. Peace.